Good morning. Welcome to week 10 of Move More Falls Prevention with I Care I Move. I'm Pat Taylor and welcome to our session. As always, and I know I say it every week, but it's really important that if you don't feel so good, if you feel a little bit under the weather, you do what you can today within your own capabilities. So don't feel like you need to push yourself because I keep asking you to do certain things. Also, if you've got any inhalers or sprays that you need to use, make sure you've got them by you and use them when you need to. Always feel free, if you're feeling too tired or achy, feel free to stop and start again. Come back in, sit down at any point, but please don't just leave the session without letting us know. Put your hand up or put it in the chat while you're leaving. Otherwise, let's go. Week 10. So not quite halfway there. Let's hip walk forwards in the chair. So you should know what a hip walk is by now. Feet are wide, hip walk forward. So we lift and shift the bottom forwards and back, and we're going to do that a couple of times. And move your feet. Move your feet around. You don't need to keep your feet still in one place. Use your feet and press down into the floor. Push down on the balls of your feet, maybe on the heels. Maybe take your feet a bit wider. Keep going. Just a couple more times, maybe to the back, and then stay at the front. Okay, and sit upright. So think about your posture. So sitting on the front third of the chair, I'm going to just lift up through my chest, pull my belly in, tuck my bottom under, relax my shoulders back and down, eye gaze forwards, and chin tucks back. That was a bit of a tongue twister then. And breathe, just breathe. Notice what's around you. And let's have some great thoughts about how we're going to get on this session. So let's start lifting the heels one at a time. It's always good to just have a mindset of having a positive session, and yeah, knowing that we're making progress, improving our levels of fitness, our health in some way, and getting stronger and more balanced is going to help you to do that. And we run through the same procedure for the warm-up, but we'll try and make it slightly different, but we have to warm up the same parts of the body. Otherwise, you might feel sore and stiff, and you won't get as big a movement later on if you haven't warmed it up. Okay, let's add in opposite arm. So not too fast. Just swinging the arms slowly. Just getting a lovely movement through the shoulder here. So not the arm. So I'm not moving the shoulder here if I do that. I'm just moving the elbow. I really want you to warm up the shoulders. Excellent stuff. Okay, we're going to work through the body now. So hands on the thighs. Let's take a look to one side, only as far as you can go comfortably. And then let's look at the front, to the other side, and to the front, to the other side. Keep going. Again, not too fast. So just thinking about that range of movement. If you were in a car, say, how far would you be able to look around our lovely Cornish corners? So trying not to move the knees too much. We're looking at neck movements here. Okay, chin to chest, just softly. So don't force anything. And then eye gaze forward, lifting the chin up. So you're looking at the ceiling, back to the center, and let's march. Hands and feet. Excellent. If you want to stand up already, feel free to do so. You can always come and sit if you're tired. It's up to you. You know your capabilities. You know what you're feeling like today. And it might be last week you weren't very energetic. Today you might have like lots of bounce in your step, and use that to your advantage. Okay. Feet come a bit wider, hands down by your sides, pulling through the belly and lean down to one side. Use the muscles in the belly to pull you back up and reset here. And some of you might want to take your feet a little bit wider, or some of you might not be in chairs that you can actually lean down too far. So do what you can. You can always just hold your elbows, but we're going down by the side. So we're dropping our shoulders to the side, working through the waist, the ribs. Excellent. And just a couple more. As if you were picking something up off the floor. You've dropped it on the floor, and oh, you need to sit up again. Excellent. and then back to your march. So we always come back to the march to just keep our body's circulation moving around. And even if you don't want to do arms, you can still move your legs. If you don't want to do legs, you can still move your arms. You could always, as well, if you've got a weaker arm, you could always just support that arm. You're still getting that lovely movement through your shoulders. Excellent. And then feet come wide again, hands by your side. Let's come into that shoulder raise. So lift up and softly drop. Lift up, 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 and drop down. Press those fingers down. Lift and press. Lift and press. Lift and press. So smooth movements. Feels quite nice, shouldn't it? Doesn't it? I think so anyway. And then march. So we're going to come straight back to the shoulders, but slightly different. I know what we're going to do if you've been doing this with us for a while. So where are your arms? Where are your hands? Are they up to your ears? And where are your elbows? Back behind you. Okay, back to the shoulders. Let's come into that shoulder circle. So slightly forwards, up to your ears, all the way up, back and down. And I want you to really think about that range of movement. So up, 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 as far as you can, and start small to begin with, especially if you've got a painful shoulder or stiff shoulders. Just start small and then really try and get that large range of movement there. Trying to the edges of the movement. And it really will help you. It helps with your breathing, because if we're sitting hunched up all day with our shoulders forwards, we only take shallow breaths. Excellent. And then guess what? Back to your march. Lovely. Fabulous. I'm going to stay seated and then I'm going to stand up. So I'm going to sit for this one and we're going to come to our ankle mobility. So heel on the floor, on the same spot, toes, and then the heel. So if you're sitting, you're lifting that knee up. You can help to support it. You can have a band around your knee if you need to. If you're standing, exactly the same. If you're standing, try not to look down. So feel it in your hip probably, but we're thinking about that ankle movement. If you're not quite sure about that, you can always flex and point, but maximum movement in those ankles that you can get. Lovely. And then let's do that little circle. Right the way down, point the toes up and then all the way back up. You might feel that in your calf. And then let's swap sides. So swapping heel toe on the other side. Heel toe. Heel toe. Excellent. And then let's give it a little wiggle. Oh, did we go both ways on the other one? It's hard doing it with your heel on the floor because your heel moves. So maybe just lift it slightly one way and then the other way. Lovely. And then back to your march. If you're sitting, keep marching. I'm going to stand. If you're going to come into standing with me, feet back, push forwards. At the top, you march again. Come around the back of the chair. And a march. So, foot placement. Rolling through the foot, really important. Try not to be flat-footed. I know some of you have fed back that actually it's really helpful. And it just brings to mind one lovely gentleman we had in class, and he would just stamp. And then to get him to change to this rolling through the foot really helped him to walk, because imagine stamping, that's when you might trip up over your feet. Whereas if you're rolling and really picking up your feet, it helps you to walk and it helps you to step correctly. Okay, hips. Feet come a little bit wider, knees are soft. Let's do a little hula hoop. That's it, little hula hoop, soft knees, otherwise you get no movement through your hips. Keep going, squeaky floor. Anybody else got a squeaky floor? Or is it just me? Keep going while I just sort my mic pack out because it's sticking in me. Squeak, squeak. Or we could do it there. We could do a little side step with a little hip walk because I'm trying to get away from my squeak. And then go the other way. Oh, look, you're all moving. So you could practice this in your kitchen. Your families will go, what are you doing? Yeah, oh yeah, do the little hula hoop. Oh yeah, we used to have a little Zumba track doing that. Or Helen did, a little hula hula. How lovely. Okay, back to your march. Oh, hopefully your bodies feel a bit warmer, your joints feel a bit looser. Have I forgotten anything? I don't think so. Okay, moving on to endurance then. So this is the bit, keep your feet moving. This is the bit where you might get out of breath. So it's really important that you notice how you feel. So in more detail, how do you feel when we're in these larger movements? How out of breath do you feel? I'm going to add in bigger arms. How out of breath do you feel? Can you carry on at that pace? Do you need to bring it down? Do you need to take it up a level? So remember, 0 to 10, we want you about 5, 6. You should be able to talk to us. If I said, how are you, John? Say, oh, I'm all right. A little bit out of breath, but I'm fine to carry on. And hopefully you should feel all right. If you feel too out of breath, take the arms out. Make the movement smaller. You can even sit down, still move your feet. If you feel unwell, then stop and let us know. Okay, little tap to the side. So if you've got a chair in front of you, feet are just going to the outside edges. And I'll show you sideways. So my feet are going to the diagonal, not kind of out to the side, because we're warming up the hips. And it's kinder to just take them out slightly to the front. Add in an arm. So at any point, you can add in arms to make it bigger, harder, make you more out of breath. Or you can hold on the whole time. So there's lots of options here. And it might be you hold on with both hands and you're leaning quite heavily. That's fine. You might have 2 chairs. That's fine. You might then progress to 2 hands, but not leaning so hard. And then you might just have a finger on or 1 hand and then hover. Okay, we're going to come into a side step. So step together, step together. Now, you could even add opposite arm to the way you're going. That's a bit odd. Or you could just add arms in. If you need to hold on, you could do 1 arm, say to that side, 1 arm to that side. If you've got a sore shoulder, keep it low. Lots of options. Write it down so you know what you've been doing. We're going up. Remember last week I said we're going up that gradual pace, picking it up, getting to the top of the range, and then we'll bring it back down. Breathe. Okay, so we're stepping together, and then back to your march. So this is your recovery part. Okay, so this is where you can get a breath, and if you need to, just pump your heels and go, have a big breath in, that's fine. If you need to take it down for the next one, that's fine. Similar, we're going to step over the cat. So it looks like a leg lift, up and over, and you're not allowed to kick your cat. So here, the second leg lifts over. Keep going. In seated, you might want to lean back, just lift, up and over, just 1 leg at a time. It's just a bit kinder on your hips. But up and over, getting in and out of the car, stepping over something unexpectedly. Somebody's dropped something. Or you might need to get up a curb and there's no, when you're going in between cars and you're going to get up a curb, you might need to do this. Then, I don't know, let me know what you think. Let me know when you might use this. You might have a cat or a small grandchild or something. Lovely. So you might feel that in your hips. Fronts of the hips, we're stretching, we're working. Fronts of the hips, the thighs. So this is why you might get out of breath. Okay, march, march, recover, recover. Notice your energy levels. Where are you? 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You need to bring it down. 10, then just march. Excellent. Okay, lunging. I'm stepping back away from my chair, landing, solid land, big press back. You can stay on one side. Same in seated. You need to sit forwards in your chair. As you lunge, you lean. So you're adding weight. Or you could be in that staggered stand. Keep going in standing. I'll show you in seated. It might be this. You're just leaning, still a lunge, or you can actually physically move that leg forwards and back. Lovely. We're going to change sides or keep going if you've been alternating. How does one side feel to the other? It might have a, you might have a difference in an ankle joint or feet, toes. And that all plays a part in feeling strong, confident. And when you come back, where are you landing? Are you landing in that wide base of support? Or do you still naturally come to a narrow? Make sure you come to that wide base. Big step. Can you make it a bit further? Don't have to. You might need to press on the chair. You can add in that opposite arm if you're steady enough. We're not in balance though, so don't worry about pressing. We're thinking strength, endurance. Okay, let's do one more. Excellent. Back to your march. Recovery. Thank you. Are we all okay? Give us a thumbs up. Okay, so somebody's just joined. Take it easy because we're right up at the top of endurance. So just go slowly, small movements for now till you've warmed up. Whew. Let's do some lovely knee bends. Feet are wide, wider than hips, toes out if you can, or see how you feel. You know, we've talked about squats. Bend the knees, hips push back. Bend the knees, hips back. I'm lowering my body. Have you looked in the mirror? Because what I saw last week was some people going here. You're not using your legs, you're just hinging from your hips. It's like a concertina, down, down, and you don't have to go very far. Even if you do a really great one here, that's fine. And try to keep your knees pointing out and a big squeeze at the top. Knee bend, we call them. They're squats, aren't they? Why do we need to do this? Get you on and off the toilet, on and off your bed, out of chairs, in and out of cars. Lower down. If you've got a chair in front of you, your head should not be going over the top of your chair. It should just be coming down, almost like the chin comes towards the chair. Oh, squeeze those thighs, squeeze the bottom, and then hold it there. Just march. So that's big muscles in your bodies. How are your energy levels now? Are you puffed out? Could you carry on? Are you a 6, 7? Good, fab. We're going to bring it down now. But I want to do one more. Let's just lift those knees slowly. Just lift those knees in front of you. So lift, control that foot down. So I want you to go this slow. Lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, lower. Oh, you feel it? My hips going, oh, I don't like that. Lift, lower, lower, lift. So a big movement, but slowly. Okay, march. So still using big muscles, but bringing the pace down. Okay, we're going to go into 2 steps. So we're going to go step, 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 step. You're not particularly lifting those legs up over a cat, say, just midway. You're not kind of sliding, but just picking up a little bit. Step together, step together. Oh, Beryl's still got her arms going. You can still do your arms, not too much, because we're now bringing it, we're coming down the rest of that curve. So we want you to get your breath back. Lovely. Oh, can you breathe a bit better? Let's go 1 more each way. And come back behind your chair and back to your march. Excellent. Squeaky. Okay, let's just do a step back, step together, but wide. Step back, land on your heel if you can. Just stretches out the back of your leg. Put your weight on that back leg. If you're sitting, just take the leg back a little bit and maybe look over your shoulder. Or you could take a long leg in front of you. A little stretch. Put that heel back and then start looking behind. Heel down. Heel down. Lovely. And then march. Fabulous. Coming back to the tap. Tap, tap, tap. Great. Hopefully your breathing is not as frantic. You could say, oh, how are you? I'm all right, thanks. I'm good. And you don't feel like you ran up the stairs 10 times. Okay, march. Feet wide, wide base sway. And that's when you know you've come to the end of your endurance part. That's worked your heart, the systems around your heart, circulation, lung function. It's all good. And then no arms, give them a shake. Sometimes when we're increasing energy, you can get, your fingers can feel a bit fat. It's just fluid and things, so give them a little open and close. And hold it there. If you're still feeling puffed out, just keep swaying. Just keep swaying until you feel a bit more normal. We're going to go into balance, but please feel free to grab a drink, because that can make you a bit dry. And my water bottle squeaks, so apologies. Okay. I love balance. I really love it. And we are repeating things. So we are doing the same things over and over, but we need to get the basics right before we move on. Because we'll be walking and talking and counting backwards soon and spelling your names backwards while you're walking soon. So we need to get the basics right first. So we're going to go into our flamingo stand. So single leg stand. We've been doing this every week. Have you been practicing at home? And I've had reports back to say, I've done this many, I'm better on one leg than the other, but I'm practicing more. Keep practicing. 1 foot close to the chair, but step out so you can use that chair for support, or a worktop. Slide that foot back. I'll show you from the side. Lift that heel up. Hold on if you need to, or hover. Eye gaze forwards. Tuck your bottom under. Belly, core is engaged. Breathe and just hold it for as long as you can. Have you spread those toes out on the floor in your shoes? Are you wobbling? It's fine to wobble. And then when you're ready, you're going to step out nice and wide. Good. Are you getting better? Are you feeling it? Even if you're not getting better, are you feeling more confident with this? And are you practicing in the kitchen? Fab. And even if you feel like a bit like silly and you're just standing somewhere in a queue, you could just stand like this. Nobody cares. Or you could actually just take your foot off here, but it's better here. Nobody knows. Let's go again. Heel, so spread the toes out. Soft knee, bottom tucked under, belly engaged. Relax your shoulders, eye gaze forwards. Breathe. Lovely. Keep breathing. Don't look at me because I'm wobbling. Because I'm trying to talk to you. That's my excuse. I'm trying to talk to you and look at you on the screen while I'm doing it. Multitasking at its finest, see? When you're ready to come out, wide, compensatory step to come out. And then let's just march your heels or have a wiggle. You look great doing this. It's so exciting. I love this. We're going to stay on this side, though, because I know some of you struggle with going side to side. So we're going to go into the flamingo swing. Now, Helen and I do it differently. Obviously, I like my way better. So same thing, same principle. Knee starts level. Lift the heel, swing up and back. And it's like, it is a swing. It's called a flamingo swing. So you swing, you hinge that hip. So you're dragging your foot along the floor. You can hold on, you can let go. We're not twisting our bodies, we're still looking forwards. When you're ready, step out wide. Good. We'll only do that once though, because we've been on that side for not a long time, but enough. Now we're going to change sides. So think about how you felt on that side. Are you confident? Does it feel okay? Is it uncomfortable? Or do things going on in your body affect what you're doing there? So sore toes, ankles, knees, hips. Or it just might be your balance, or you might just feel really scared. So think about how you feel this side. So let's make those adjustments. So step away from the chair, spread your toes out, soften that knee. If I've got a stiff knee, I've got no control over that leg. Soften, it brings my ankle into, it kind of compensates for that movement, but it allows me to do that. If my knee's stiff, I have nothing to use. So soft knee, hips forwards, slide that knee back, pull in the belly, muscles in the belly, relax the shoulders, lift that heel, eye gaze forwards. Find a spot to focus on, it really helps. Preferably not me, because I wobble. You can use your arms to help counteract that wobble. Think about that ankle strength when you're wobbling. When you're ready to step out wide, compensatory step. You're safe in this position, have a wiggle. Let's go again. Same principles, bend the knee, spread the toes, pull the belly in, bottom tucked, eye gaze forwards, shoulders relaxed. Breathe, smile, lift, balance. Think of something nice, or try not to let your hip stick out. So I can feel it on this side into my hip, but I'm ignoring it and I'm going to step out wide. Oh, those in seated. Those in seated, thanks, Nick. Forgot them. In seated, sit forwards, lift that leg, bring the other leg in maybe, or one foot on top of the other. Lift, or tuck it behind, or come to the diagonal. It's not very comfortable in seated, so just lifting that leg momentarily and still step wide. Okay, notice the differences. So it is interesting when I've got a little bit of osteoarthritis in my hip, and that really makes a difference on that side. And I can only do that. I can do that a shorter time on this side because my hip starts to ache, but then I feel it down my leg. And then I need to step out because of the discomfort. So I know that some of you have painful feet, ankles, you've had joint replacements, you've got some arthritis going on, maybe some fibromyalgia. So don't give yourself a hard time. When I'm in class and I can't do something, I get really frustrated. Don't. Just remember you're doing this and it's going to improve your bones, your health, your muscle, the bone health, the muscle strength to improve. And whatever we can do to help is a benefit. So give yourself a pat on the back. Don't get frustrated. Keep practicing. It will make a difference. Okay, what's next? Next is tandem. We haven't done tandem for a little while, have we? So starting at the back of your chair, one foot in front, and then we're going to place the other foot in front. Now you do need a tiny little gap between the heel and the toes at the on the foot behind. If you can't do that, if you can't come directly in front, narrow. So tuck the joint, your big toe joint, into the instep. So you really, let's go again. In seated, it's exactly the same. Feet one in front, one foot in front of the other, or narrow. So let's go again. This time, we're going to put one foot in front of the other, or where you need it to be, and we're going to soften the knees. We're going to take our weight forwards a little bit, so the heel lifts at the back a little bit, so the toes lift. Keep going. And then I want you to put both feet down and find that midpoint. And again, not stiff knees, soften through the knees. And what will happen is your feet, your toes will be going a bit bonkers. You can hold on if you want to. If you hold on, you don't get that reaction so much in your feet. So hover, try and hover, or one finger. And what happens is it creates pathways, and it creates your body. It's like proprioception. Your body's trying to think, what's going on? I need to stabilize myself. And this is how we challenge our bodies and how we improve. And my ankle, my back ankle is moving, it's wiggling, trying to correct my balance, instability. And I'm going to step out wide still. Step out. Good. Stay on that same leg. Actually, it's the same whether we do that back. I'll tell you in a bit more detail. So we're just going to do a tandem walk. So just a couple of steps within the confines of your chair. So behind, you don't need to look. You know where your feet are unless you've got peripheral neuropathy, but try not to look down. So just taking a couple of steps forwards, and you can see my hand is hovering. I'm touching occasionally the chair, so I know it's still there because I'm looking forwards. Again, options in seated is one foot in front of the other, or narrow, just a little step forwards and back. You won't get 3 steps unless you've got very long legs and small feet. And then I had a bit of a wobble. I'm going to step wide. Lovely. We're going to go on the other side. So you can either turn away from me or wiggle around. So come to the back of your chair. The other foot now comes in front, either directly in front. What can I do about my squeaky floorboard? I can't oil it, can I? One front and the other. And just try stiff knees. Doesn't that feel awful? Soft knees, so much better. Stiff knees, soft knees. Hold, breathe. What are your feet doing? Are you holding on? Can you hover, or just one finger? What are your feet doing? Toes, are they spread out? And then we're going to step wide. Fab. Let's go again. And again, it might feel different this side, because what we're asking you to do is cross this leg in front of the other side, whereas normally you're just stepping to the side. So this is quite a stretch, might be quite a stretch for some of you. Foot in front. This time, soften the knees, toes lift, heel lifts. So we're just rocking backwards and forwards, just to find that point of center. So we're going to stop in the center, and we're just going to hold. What are your feet doing? Ankles, toes. Is it better this side? And that's just your foot placement. The other foot is in front now. Maybe your dominant foot. We're going to step out nice and wide. Good. Last bit here is we're going to go to our flamingo swing. So same leg is the supporting leg, toes spread out. Slide that leg back. Knees are kind of level. Knees soft, belly, bottom, shoulders, eye gaze. Lift the heel. Hold on. If you need to, swing. So it's like you've got something on your shoe. Keep breathing, keep smiling, keep looking forward. You don't have to do it fast.
Someone doing it seated, but their face on, they need to turn.
All right, step out nice and wide. Oh, and have a wiggle. In seated, I think somebody was trying to do it here. It's a bit difficult face on. So if you can do it to the side, it's a bit easier. You might need a higher chair, or you might want to just stick with the lift. Fab. Come and sit down. How do we feel? Are we okay? Good. Right, we go into, I'm going to show you the next bit of our backward chaining. And we've done some of it, and I know some of you have done it over and over again, but I just want to show you the next bit because it's quite important that you see what it looks like. And it won't be, you won't get it until you do it, probably. So don't do it, watch, hip walk, just watch, hip walk, feet back, stop, pump your heels, step away, turn. Now, I'm going to go on the other side so you can see this leg. A big step to the chair, hands down. Now, you remember last week we did shoulders towards the back of the chair. This time, I'm just going to wiggle that knee, the toes back. And this might be all you want to do. My arms are straight, not locked. Eye gaze is to the mid of the back of the chair. And all I'm going to do, so you can see that I'm quite close to the chair. All I'm going to do is bend my knee and straighten. So my eye gaze, I'll show you my eye gaze is here. And as I bend my knee, it rises. I don't want you to worry about the other knee. It will do its own thing. It will bend and you might not get very far. You can either come in little steps or a big step. Pump, push up, pump your heels, take your time here. Turn and sit. Now I'm just going to give you seated option. Is hip walk, bunny hop, and then you're going to have to just do a 1 foot forwards, 1 foot back, because we're working on that leg. We're trying to stretch the front, dip down, or you could just try and hold the back of the chair and wiggle that leg back, so you get a stretch here. Those who are joining in, we're going to go, but slowly, controlled. And we're going to do both sides. So we're going to start with your strong leg, and then we're going to go with your weaker leg. So think about which side you're going to start with. So we're going to hip walk forwards in the chair. We're going to bring our feet back, press to stand, pump you. And if you want to do it when you can still watch and just practice at home in your own time if you want to. You don't have to do it now. Step away, turn. Hello, chair. I've done it on the wrong leg, but so your strongest leg is going to step right to the chair. So my toes meet the side of the front leg of the chair. Hands come down. Remember, my arms stay straight. I'm not doing a press up here. Eye gaze is to the back of the chair. Wiggle that back foot back a bit. And all I want you to do is bend that back knee a little bit and straighten it. Bend it and straighten it. If you can do 2 more, brilliant. If not, then that foot comes in. Okay, foot comes in. Take your time. No rushing here. Adjust your feet. You've always got your thighs to walk up if you need to. Come up to standing. What do we do at the top? Pump your heels. Take your time. Turn around. Feel the chair. Sit down, push your bottom back and sit down and have a rest. Now in the chair while we're doing this, if you wanted to do a little leg press with the band, can't find it, band, you could do that as well. So we're going to do the same again. We're going to lead on the weaker side if you can, if you're safe to do that. Don't worry if you can't. Hip walk forwards. Feet back. Big press. Pump your heels. Now I did it the other way. So other foot steps out, turn around, Weaker leg steps forwards and is at the chair leg, the inside of the chair leg. Hands come down. And your arms are taking your weight, not that leg really. Then we can wiggle that foot back a little bit more. We're going to bend that knee and straighten. Can I have a look? Bend and straighten. You could do it on a worktop. You don't have to do it on a chair. Lovely. So you're just thinking of getting that back knee down and straightening it. Excellent. Then we're going to bring that foot in, either tiny steps or 1 foot. Take your time. Honestly, you could stay here for a minute. Get your breath, pump your heels, come up to standing. Really important here. Head rises, pump your heels or squeeze your toes in your shoes. Take a few steps. Turn around, feel the chair, sit down. Lovely. So you can practice that a bit at home if you feel safe to do that. You could do it against, you could do a worktop or a dining room table. You could push the chair up to the wall, might feel a bit more secure for you. And why are we doing this? Because if you're on the floor, and you might say, well, I'm not going to be on the floor. You might be on the floor through no fault of your own. And we need to get you off the floor. So this is why we do that. So just watch this movement. So just say you're on the floor. We need to get you up. And some of you say, I can't run my knees. Well, we'll practice that bit too. I'm going to walk my hands. We've already pressed. I'm going to do it on the other side. So I'm going to swiftly bring this leg round. And then I'm going to bend my toes at the back. From here, I'm going to press up. And that's that movement in reverse, okay? I know we're not that far down yet. You might not get there, it's fine. We can use cushions, blocks, big press up, and a push in, step in, turn. That's why we do that movement, because that's part of getting you off the floor, should you find yourself on the floor. Lovely. Right, let's give you a little stretch. No, we'll do covered in green. Let's do a little bit of, I can never remember if it's Tai Chi first or a stretch first. Let's do Tai Chi. So you can stand, you can sit. If you're tired today, we've done quite a lot of legs, then feel free to sit. I'm going to stand. Whew, lovely. You can be behind your chair. Or like I say, you can sit. Or if you just want to sit and rest and do this later or in the week, you can. Feet always wide. Soften the knees. Let's just roll through the shoulders. Up, back and down. Bend. And breathe. And bend the knees. Roll the shoulders. As we roll the shoulders, let's just bring those arms, hands in a little bit. Backs of hands come together. As we stand, they open. Same in seated. You might just want to lean in a little bit. Okay, into the same as last week. So our lotus flower. So fingers, thumbs, tips join to your heart space. Bend the knees. And as we press up, we straighten the knees, open the fingers, pushing up to the sun. Drawing back into the heart space and pulling down a little bit if you can. Don't worry if you don't want to do that. Don't worry about your breath too much. And let's just do one more. Lovely. So that was a little prep for our lovely horse's mane. So fingers stay together. And then as we reach the top, we open and one hand presses up, the other presses down, and we take our weight to one side or not. Do what you can do. Lift, open, press. Lift, open, and press. Lift, open, press. This is where we need a lovely bit of music. Press. Last one. Oh no, we better do one more and then we're even. And then fingertips together. Just breathe in, press down and breathe out. Breathe in, press down. In and out. And roll through the shoulders and we're going to sit down and stretch. Lovely. You do need to come to the front third of your chairs so we can get a lovely stretch in the back of the leg. Okay, so let's do those legs first. Take one leg away, toes pointing up. Wiggle this other foot so it's wide forwards enough for you to lean on it. Hinge from the hips. So here, I'm going to show you from the side. So imagine I'm at the back of my chair and I'm trying to stretch that leg. It's not stretching, it's not even straight. So I'm coming forwards. Here, look what happens at my hip. I lean, I hinge, and then I feel a big stretch. If I don't hinge and I'm just leaning forwards, I'm only stretching my back. I'm not stretching the back of my thigh, knee at all. Come up, 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 relax the foot, squeeze the toes, calf stretch, and then let's swap sides. Foot away, heel on the floor. And sometimes it helps to lift through the chest and then as if you're kind of going up and over something, because then that kind of gets that stretch into the back of the thigh, back of the knee, even more so. And breathe. Can you believe it? You've nearly done another hour. Another week ticked off. And rest. And wiggle those toes. Relax the foot and then squeeze the toes up towards the knee. Fab. Then we'd better stretch out our arms. So hand on the opposite shoulder. Ooh. And then draw into the body. Feet are wide. And then take that arm up. I'm always tapping. I think I've got ADHD or ADD. I'm always tapping my feet or doing something. Feet wide over your head. I'm constantly on the go. And breathe and lean forwards. Other hand, draw in. That doesn't mean you've got ADHD, just because you tap in, by the way, but lots of other things. How do you feel? Are you okay?
Anita's getting attacked by a beautiful dog.
Oh, Anita's got a lovely dog there attacking her. Arm up. Aww. And overhead. Forwards and out. Let's do a little chest stretch. So hands to the back of the chair or lower back. Squeeze the elbows towards each other. Eye gaze lifted just a little bit. And let go. Hands over your knees, round the spine. This is, oh, lovely. Pull the belly in towards the spine. Chin drops towards your chest. And sit up. Make yourselves comfy. And lovely. Thank you. And we'll just go into relaxation just for 5 minutes. So close your eyes if you can. Go into a full back rest. So you're just resting on the back of the chair. You're steady, you're safe, you're secure. Just a few moments for yourself. As a little congratulations for doing another week. Just taking a moment to reflect on how you feel. Just notice any improvements or any changes, and that doesn't have to be physically. It can be mentally, emotionally. And if you've fallen or if you're worried about falls, that fear can really take over your life and it can stop you doing things. So to be able to just feel a little bit more confident is as important as feeling stronger and more balanced. It's as important. You must remember that. Just taking a breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just feeling your body from your toes, around the feet, around the ankles, the calf muscles, the shins and the knees, around the thighs, the bottom, belly, lower back, waist, hips, ribs, shoulder blades, over the top of the shoulders, around the chest, tops of the arms, elbows, down to the wrists and your fingers and thumbs. And working your way back up to the neck, the jaw, the face, any tension in the scalp, the temples. Just breathe it away. Just relax all of those parts of the body. And go into your own little world, into your own thoughts if you want to. Just taking a few moments to literally just not worry about anything, not think of anything else except how your body feels. Do you feel warm? Do you feel a bit chilly? Do you need a drink? Drink of water, a cup of tea? Do you need to eat something? Or are you feeling fine, raring to go? And just knowing that every day is different, but if we can make one small change, if we can do one movement a day that we know will help to improve our movements, our walking, our bending, then that can only be helpful, useful to you long term. One thing, just one thing, one small thing, and it might be the thing that you really hate to do, but just think how great you'll feel when you've done it and you've tackled it and you've got over that hurdle, that mountain. You don't need to tell anybody you're doing it, or you can get support from your closest people. Share it with us if you want to. And then we're going to start moving toes, fingers, having a deeper breath in and a sigh out. Wiggle your fingers, toes. I'm going to sit forwards in my chair. I'm going to roll my shoulders, have a big fat stretch. And you're done. So well done. Thank you for joining us for week 10. We'll see you again next week. Let us know how you got on. Let us know what homework you're doing and if you're seeing any improvements at all. Take care and we'll see you next week. Bye.